It's time for Dart Talk. Brought to you by thedartzone.com. Stay in the zone. Thedartzone.com is an official Cosmo distributor and Windy City Fabricators, America's premier fabricators of orthotics and prosthetics. And Redwood Darts, America's newest tungsten darts. Stand straight and tall and hit them all. Redwood Darts. And now, here are your hosts, Mystery Mark and Steve P.
Okay, welcome to Dart Talk.
Hello. How's it going?
Fine. How are you?
Good.
Dart Talk brought to you by the Dart Zone.
Stay in the zone.
TheDartZone.com is an official Cosmo distributor. Also, many thanks, Windy City Fabricators and Redwood Darts and the whole crew that helps us do the show. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Listening live on darttalk.us or getting us on iTunes or Stitcher or TuneIn or wherever you're getting us. I don't know, Facebook.
Somewhere.
How you doing?
I'm hanging in there.
Yeah,
not much going on right now.
It's kind of a bummer, you know. Somebody in the chat room, I've been kind of out of touch, you know, and a good friend of the show, George Hams, is ill.
Yeah, apparently he just had some surgery, but supposedly right now he's doing okay.
Okay, well, thoughts and prayers. He's a good guy. He's the kind of guy that makes darts seem promising. You know, guy plays for the love of the game. Mm-hmm. You know, he's not a world beater, but he gives it, you know, everything he can. He's dedicated, you know. Turned me on to the best beignet place in New Orleans.
Oh, yeah?
Nolans.
Yeah.
Well, it was in Metairie, I think. But anyway, get well soon, George.
Yeah, I remember when you were talking about when you went to New Orleans, you were like, I have to go to this place. I didn't know.
Yeah, and he's like, I got a better one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we went to both.
Mm.
But, yeah, it was, I like New Orleans. So, okay, what's going on with the show? We got results?
First, we're going to disclaim everything before we start talking.
Let's do that.
The views, opinions, rants, and rampages expressed on Dart Talk do not necessarily reflect individually or collectively those of our sponsors, co-sponsors, wannabe hosts, hearing-impaired critics, or those with a penchant for attitudinal dysfunction. We at Dart Talk strive to provide you, the listener, with an educational, entertaining, and fun-filled experience each and every week. If after the show you, the listener, find yourself feeling uneducated, unentertained, and or bored, we at Dart Talk consider that your own problem.
Okay, and we wish you all the best with that. So we have results. What do we have results from?
We have Ghost on the Coast and some Virginia Bullshooter.
Right.
Results.
So as promised last week, we're actually going to do what we said we were going to do. All right. So we have results on that. What else did I put? I don't know.
I just got here, so you haven't told me what's on the show.
Well,
yet.
I said that we would do the results. I said that there would be breaking news.
Oh,
which there is breaking news.
Which would be breaking news to me, too, because I haven't heard of it.
Well, we'll get to that. And then I put blindness, you know, because I want to talk league darts with you for a minute.
Okay.
Right off the bat. And then I put, what can we learn from Derrick Rose? And I literally had two people immediately, like, who's Derrick Rose?
Who's Derrick Rose?
And I'm like, okay. Admittedly, and a shout-out to anyone listening to us in Hong Kong, by the way.
He's not a dart shooter, so, you know, maybe they
How do you know?
They don't know who he is.
You
Well,
don't
I guess
know if
he could
plays.
be.
He could be. You know, it's kind of weird.
Welcome to lovely Myrtle Beach, too, by the way, where we sit.
You know, I've only been there once, and it didn't look like that. That's awfully pretty. You know, you go there in October, and, like, all the pancake places are closed, you know.
Okay.
So
we went there many moons ago when I was like 18.
400. How many people in the Friday night draw?
402.
So there you go. I mean, that is probably, you know, for whoever's running that tournament, that's the most profitable tournament, I would think, in America. Mm-hmm. You know, he's got it's interesting what he does. It's an inexpensive tournament. You know, the hotel's way cheaper than, you know, a lot. Like, if you go to some of the bigger cities, it's like, you know, $120 a night, whatever. God knows what Stanford is. I didn't go the last couple of years. It's like $49 a night, and if you want to get cheaper down the road, you can get
Really?
get $39
Cheaper
a night.
$50.
Yeah, you can get $39 a night. The entry fees the year I went were only $10, which is about half what you would normally get, and they run it well. They had 350 some people the year I went for the blind draw, and they were done by like 12:30.
It's the best results page I've seen yet.
Yeah, wasn't there website?
The
we were
website
complaining.
Fantastic.
Right, we complained last week about somebody's website. I'm not going to like point them out, but it was like totally like, you got to be kidding me with this.
Yeah.
Right, you put this out there and you just end up looking horrible. Whereas this one, exact opposite.
Click this link to find results. You click the link, the results show up.
Hey, check it out, results and everything.
And they're all in a row, and it's unreal.
Yeah, they did.
Well done.
Yeah, and to be honest, I mean, if you have one person who kind of knows what they're doing, it shouldn't be that hard. So, kudos to them. Very nice. I just glanced over your shoulder when you were doing getting the results, and I was like, that looks good.
Yeah.
It's kind of a retro, website. It's a kind of website they did like 15 years ago. The black background and everything, but it's readable, so I'm all for it. So league darts. You played league last night?
Yes, I did.
How'd it go?
It went all right.
We have to get you to a tournament.
I know. Working Saturdays is going to make that kind of difficult, but no, it was fine actually. I would say I played okay for the first time in a long time, like months. I actually felt like I was executing like if I still missed a lot of darts, but it was like I knew if I threw it correctly, like I had a plan. And then they were going in. And then when I missed, I did not execute my throw. And for the first time in a long time, I actually had figured out that, I could feel what I was doing wrong as opposed to just going, what the hell am I doing?
Okay.
So it was actually kind of good. I had some good matches, and even though I missed some darts at times, obviously, like everybody does, but I missed a lot. But all of a sudden, when I needed to hit something and it felt good, it actually went in, and it was like kind of encouraging to me.
Nice. That's nice. So, I like when that happens.
Yeah.
So this is what, your second season now after taking a couple of years off, basically?
Yeah.
So it's taken you almost 2 full seasons to start
Pretty
to
much
feel like you used to feel.
And and I'm slowly practicing more. Obviously when I first started in the summer, after like 3 or 4 years off, whatever it was, my practice time was like nil. So it was even harder, and I'm slowly finding more and more time on a board, whether it's Monday night. Since I work Saturdays, I don't work Tuesdays, so I'm actually able to throw a little bit during the day before I actually go out and play Tuesday night.
Yeah,
helps.
I would think that's like so key if you can like actually warm up for your league matches. I played. We had to reschedule, so I actually played on Monday.
Yes, I was shocked. You had to reschedule, and they still didn't field a full team.
That's not my problem. But
I thought it was funny.
The first, I warmed up almost not at all. I had like an 18 dart warm up. I don't know how anybody can play on an 18 dart warm up, but 2 nights before, so we played on Monday. So Saturday night, one of my teammates just calls me up out of the blue, and he's like, "Hey, I got the night off. You want to go throw somewhere?" So fine. So we go and throw, and literally we threw for 5 straight hours, and stamina becomes an issue, when you're playing that long. And so I didn't play Sunday, right? I was in morning,
yeah,
right.
Well,
yeah,
right.
Well, it's not like I'm surprised either. Sometimes it just stinks to be right all the time. But
yeah,
and Sunday was one of those.
You weren't in morning Sunday afternoon.
No, I was in morning all day Sunday, knowing what was going to happen
exactly.
Sunday night. We were going to get killed by the Packers. Right. They laid down. It was just sort of like they turned into a bearskin rug. It was horrible. I've never seen a team quit like this. And let me tell you, just to the dart players out there, never quit. Nothing makes you look worse as a player or as a competitor. If you want people to take you seriously as a dart player, don't quit.
Exactly.
I don't care if you miss the frickin' board every single dart and you throw them in the wall. I will respect you if you're in there pitching, trying your best.
Yeah.
People who get all like kind of like a little bent out of shape when, you throw something big at them at the beginning and start chucking their darts, I hate that. I just hate it.
Well, yeah, that and like one of my teammates, this is, 4 or 5 weeks ago, but he wasn't throwing very well, and we were playing an 0-1 doubles game, and he got something like, I think he had 10 left. He had a double 10 left, or double 5 left, and he threw and he hit the 5 with one dart left in his hand, and he thought he busted or something. He lost his head, but it was because he wasn't paying attention enough, and just went like this and just threw the dart.
Oh, through the other?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it went into like a 2.
Yeah. Thanks, buddy.
But I mean, it was just like, that's. I agree with you that you're showing that you're just giving up, and it just looks worse than like my my teammate yesterday. To me, this was comical. He was trying, but he just screwed up, which everybody does. But he was. We were playing 0-1 doubles, and we had a big lead, so they weren't in and out, and he had 20 left. He hit the 10, then he hit the 5, and he had 5 left. Or no, he had 10 left with one dart. I'm sorry.
Okay.
He had a double 5 left with one dart.
Okay.
But he didn't want to leave me 5, so he was going to bust it. So he lost his head. So he was trying, and he lost his head. And he threw at the bottom of the board, and he hit a 3.
Nice.
He left me
Thanks.
7.
Thanks,
When he
Matt.
was just trying to hit a 19 instead of going for the 11-14, which is obviously the bust. He just, but he was thinking, and that was fine. But when the guy just goes and just chucks a dart going, oh, this, I'm not good, or I'm playing bad, and then it just looks way worse.
Yeah, I guess it's I don't see it much in doubles. I see guys like that play with me that maybe try too hard.
Sure.
I see it in singles. I see guys quit in the singles, and I never really I mean, I get it. I get that, you thinking that you're going down.
Mm-hmm.
I get that you think that, okay, this guy's like, way up there and I'm just little old me, and you start to feel sorry for yourself or whatever. But, I mean, be a dart player.
Mm-hmm.
Be in there and try. Go down swinging. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean, that doesn't mean that you got to, push the guy when he's at the line or pull some, ridiculous garbage to try to win. But, I mean,
you also,
be a player.
You
be
never
a dart
know,
player.
because if you actually throw one really good round and then next thing you know, you put a little pressure on him, things can change.
I have seen that happen, and it's happened to me where I'm, rolling along and somebody's not hitting anything, and it's usually in the first round of the cricket on the road against somebody I've never seen before, and maybe they're a little nervous or whatever because they don't play a lot of tournaments. And, invariably, the first leg they'll start out, with a 2 count and a 1 count or something. I'll get way ahead. I'll get complacent. And then all of a sudden they'll pop in a 9 count or a 7 count, and I'll be like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
And then invariably I follow it up with a 1 count or a 2 count, and now they're literally, with 3 good darts, they're back in the leg.
They're close.
Right. Yeah. And obviously, I don't recommend the whole 1 count, 2 count to start strategy.
For anybody.
I'm not advocating that, mind you. That's not part of hyper-modern cricket.
No.
Here, let me run this by you. I mean, because I've been doing this for years. Did I ever tell you about the 4-man I played in Nashville 7 years ago with this loaded team? It was Dan Lobby, Bam Bam, and Manuel Larson.
Probably did, but I don't know if I recall it.
We're playing 4-man, and I had this thing where I would practice with my eyes closed because I was convinced that I could sense where everything was, and through the entire motion of my stroke, I could feel if it was off, if I was doing something wrong. And so it would be I stopped doing this years ago, but as I was warming up, I would try to hit something with my eyes closed and kind of feel that everything was kind of right where it was supposed to be, right? So I got pretty good at it. We're playing this 4-man, and whoever, I don't know, somebody had 20 left, and on our team, we're throwing a double 10, and he missed all 3. And I go to Dan Lobby, I'm like, dude, I can hit that with my eyes closed, right? And we had a huge lead. We were up it's 701, and we're up 300 points. And I'm playing with all these great players. So, and I was, nobody had heard of me or anything like that. back then. So I look at Dan Lobby when it's because I'm next to throw. The other guy throws his 26 or whatever. They were having a real rough time, and I just look at Dan Lobby and he's like, "Go ahead, do it." I'm like, "All right." So I go up, I line it up, I close my eyes, bang, dead center, double 10, and I let out a little whoop, right? And I'm like, "Oh, cool." I go get my dart, do the fist pump with everybody, and I'm ready for the next leg, and Bam Bam is just looking at me like, "What?"
This is in
like
your
you've
early
never
days?
Hit, yeah. It's like my second year on the road or something. And he just looks at me really funny. Like, why are you so happy? I mean, because, we were so far ahead. I mean, it wasn't like anything. And I just kind of whisper to him, I'm like, well, I hit that one with my eyes closed, man. So what does he do? He tells the other team.
Oh.
So now I'm a jerk because I'm showing off.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
Well, cut to league darts on Monday. Because,
I saw you play your first leg Monday.
Oh, yeah, it was terrible,
good.
right? Oh, yeah. I could barely
good.
straighten my arm. It took me, it took me a while to get going. But I think it was like we were playing in the cricket doubles, and we're up a leg. We're way up in the second leg. I need 2 bulls to close out the leg, and we're, whatever. We're up a couple of numbers, so many points, whatever. Not really any sort of pressure situation. And I just look at my partner. I go like this. I just blink. I go. And he's like, okay. So apparently when I went to the line, he actually moved over to see if I was faking. And I closed my eyes and popped it right in the double bull. Admittedly, it wasn't a one hole. It was kind of in the upper left-hand corner, but it was double bull. I let out a whoop, right? And then everybody's like, on my team is like, what? What's the big deal? It's like, because for me, I'm not trying to show off. I just think it's a challenge. And it's not a challenge for me to hit 2 bulls when I'm up 2 numbers and 100 points. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure I can hit 2 bulls, right? I'm not. So I'm trying to entertain myself and challenge myself.
Plus, you're in a situation
but
where.
Does that make me like a total,
Well, some people could construe it that way.
I think a lot of people would.
Yeah.
Anybody on the losing side would, right?
Well, sure. But you're also in a situation where that team is forfeiting 3 out of the 9 games anyway because they don't have a full team. You guys are playing the other legs that you're going to win anyway.
Well, they kind of stopped that, actually. They sort of bailed.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it wasn't a totally competitive situation either, but I can completely see why.
You could see, I don't mean it that way, though. I mean, and I guess maybe I'm wrong about that. But at the same time, it's league darts, and it's supposed to be fun.
Well, yeah, and I guess the only
There's
thing
no money in it. It's not a money league.
Say would be the letting out the whoop would probably be the part that would really upset people, I guess. Because,
I guess.
they
get upset anyway.
Sure.
I've taken out 170s and given out a whoop and gotten looks from the other people like, boo.
Yeah, see, that deserves a whoop.
It's like, how often do you take that out? I don't even see it that often.
That's what I was going to say. You don't get the opportunity, first of all, that often, let alone then you have to do it. 160, 164, 161, 170. I mean, how often do you get a look at that?
How are we on time? Because
we're due for break.
Okay, because when we come back, I want to talk about playing with emotion and what good is it, and then we'll get to the rest of the stuff. Mm-hmm. Okay, so remind me. You're listening to Dart Talk with Mystery Mark, Steve Penelson. We'll be right back.
The views and opinions expressed on Dart Talk are those of the hosts. They in no way should be misrepresented, misinterpreted, or made to claim that the universe is against you, your family, your city, or the darting community at large.
Okay, back for the second quarter of Dart Talk, brought to you by the Dart Zone.
Stay in the zone.
TheDartZone.com is an official Cosmo distributor. Also, many thanks, Windy City Fabricators, Redwood Darts, Aaron, Melissa, Sam the intern. At Interns Are Us, by the way, if you've got complaints about the show. If you want to add anything, we're taking nominations for Player of the Year. Those go to darttalk@gmail.com. Yeah, talking about emotion.
Yeah.
I've always felt that if you're showing genuine emotion when you play, then that's okay. If you're an emotional person, you should play emotionally.
Sure.
Right? If you're kind of the like the quiet, studious type, then you should play that way. And you shouldn't be like, I don't take offense to anybody that's doing it genuine. If you're trying to show somebody up, that's different. Then
I would agree with that. Yeah.
I'll get you next time, and I'll get you good. And because I don't forget stuff like that. But
you don't think Phil Taylor or MVG or any of those guys play with emotion?
Well, it's weird. I mean, those guys,
they're fist pumping. All the time.
I never got a chance to ask Darren this, and maybe I'll ask him. At the Ray Chesney in Philly, the first weekend after New Year's, but because he's not an emotional player, per se, right? Like the same way, like I don't know who, like maybe Johnny K has always been known to be kind of.
He's very emotional from when I saw him at the.
Yeah,
Cup
you saw him
and
at
stuff.
the. Yeah.
He would be the opposite. He would be a very emotional player as opposed to
and
Darren Young.
Yeah, but he plays kind of like the way you see these PDC guys play when they're on the main stage.
Yeah,
and playing with that adrenaline, it's the same as when you learned how to play nervous. Right, when you first start going to tournaments, the first, I don't know, it's different for everybody, but the first few tournaments I played, I was petrified. And it's like, okay, this is it. This is like a big, okay, let's, try not to have your hand shake kind of thing.
Right.
Right, and then eventually that wore off. Eventually now it's like, please don't be flat. When it's one tournament after another, I mean, you can't get up for them all. That's why I was always like, well, you need these big tournaments to get up for, and then some smaller tournaments to get ready for the big tournaments and have a progression, right?
It's like Tiger Woods golf for the majors.
Yeah, that was always his game plan, and it worked good when he was healthy, right? So, I mean, for darts, it's kind of weird. I mean, I don't know. Everybody's different. You want to win your local tournament, right? You want your bragging rights, wherever.
Sure.
Like the Buckeye Open's coming up, and they have that big state tournament on Sunday, and I think there are people that get geeked up for that, right? And it's, I always thought that was a good tournament.
Here's a good point, though. Sometimes people take how I play cricket as showing off, but how is that my problem? And it's not.
Dan.
It's the same. It's the same way. Some people view it differently, and you start playing, and people are like, "Oh, I can't believe he's hitting all these points." And this and that. And they take offense to it.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, isn't the object to win?
Yeah. Well, okay. Look,
I mean, now granted, if you're up 500 points and you're still hitting 20s. Okay.
I mean, I've seen people do that. I've seen people totally overkill it. And that just makes you look like you don't know how to play.
Exactly.
What bugs me is when I try to explain the concepts of things to amateurs and they argue with me. Right. Because based on their vast knowledge of playing cricket with their buddies at the local bar, obviously they know better than me.
One person's told them what to throw at.
Like, I swear to God, there are bars where people don't know how to play. There are bars where, the best shot in the bar told me that with 3 darts in your hand on 90, you go for the 18. And I'm like, okay, under no circumstances should you ever do that the rest of your life. And he just looked at me, and I had to explain it to him. He's been playing 20 years.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, fine. I mean.
But he still didn't believe you.
Well, that's why I'm sort of to the point now where, unless somebody directly asks me, I'm not really going to say anything anymore. It's just not worth the aggravation. It's like, you think I pointed too much? Okay. Well, that's you're entitled to your opinion.
Sure.
I'm tired of explaining it. I'm tired of explaining to people basic concepts of hypermodern cricket. This is how you count. right? This is what happens. This is blah, blah, blah. I'm just tired of it.
Yeah.
Put it in a book. Sell them the book. Hey, if
Right,
you want the book,
exactly.
it's $30 on Amazon. Knock yourself out.
Yeah.
If you get the deluxe edition, I'll sign it. No,
But yeah, I mean, I just think, every
I'm not talking about getting emotional.
Perception's different, but yeah, I mean, if you're gonna, I don't think there's anything wrong with getting emotional when you hit a 84 out to win the match when your opponent's sitting at 36.
But I guess it's human nature that you get bugged. Like, I look at amateurs play, and I hear them complain. So-and-so took out, a double 7 and started jumping up and down. Well, okay. Maybe it's the first time they ever did it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's the first match they won all season. Maybe, they go to bed dreaming that they're going to beat you next time they see you, or whatever.
Right.
It's like you have to embrace that as sportsmen if it's genuine. It's hard to tell sometimes if it's genuine
Sure.
with certain people. I'm not talking about guys that get mad because you pointed too much. I'm not talking about that emotion. Right, I'm talking about the emotion that you're generating about your own game. Mm-hmm. If you get emotional when you get overpointed in cricket, and I see that, I will rain points on you until you cry because you've just told me here's how I beat you.
Yeah,
all I do is point one extra triple, and you're going to quit.
Yeah,
you're going to get the one extra triple in the first 6 starts, hopefully.
Hopefully,
if I'm hitting anything.
Right,
clever, but have a little moxie. If you don't like points, don't tell the other guy.
Exactly. Right.
Don't like points, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll keep that in the back of my mind, and if there's an advantage somewhere,
I hit those. I'm gonna make. You're gonna think I'm a jerk. You're gonna get upset. You're gonna get your mind off the game because now you're more upset at the fact that I'm throwing triples and pointing on you. And guess what's gonna happen by the time we get to the end of the game?
Yeah. I mean, it's that's the weird thing about cricket because cricket games get a little involved, and they can go long. But my running buddy that called me up Saturday is don't say much type. Minutes. He was so frustrated. Yeah. At one point toward the end, I think I was sitting on the winning double of the last set. We were playing race to 6 for the 4th straight time or something. I don't know what he hit. He missed something, or I hit the winning double or something, and he just took his darts and flung them into the brick wall. And then that he was so frustrated. And that other players can get just as kind of all the hard feelings that people have. This guy said this to me, this guy said that to me. Don't judge anybody. That's something else.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I think and stuff. I think it's been
just whether you're the lawyer. That's the way you should. That's the way your personality is. So that's the way you should play.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, the only other thing I would say about this is it's play with one of the oil and water partners. It's there's a certain style that everyone needs. Whatever there's an ideal style for you to play for every individual person, and you can't pick it off a tree. So if you're an emotional player and people have been telling you to be quiet and internalize everything, that's not helping you.
That's not going to help at all. No way.
It may help them, but it's not helping you. So I think that's when it comes to doubles partners, though, it's hard because I'm playing for the first time with this one emotional player on my dart team. That's what made me think about this. And he's getting all pumped up, and I'm just standing there I don't do the pumped up thing, man. I just go up and execute, right?
Unless your eyes are closed.
Still got to execute, man.
Well, sure.
So I mean, it's very. I like playing with him because he's got this kind of weird wired energy, but it's also distracting because I'm kind of trying to be in my own little happy place in my head, and my partner's pulling me out. It's the same way when you go to a blind draw. We're going to talk about blind draws in a minute. When you're playing with an inexperienced player that has a lot of questions, it's hard to focus on your own game when you're when you're
explaining what
you got to be a full-time coach. So we'll talk about the blind draw thing in a little bit. But I was going to get to Derrick Rose because this is what you don't want in a partner. Now, did you hear what Derrick Rose said?
Vaguely.
All right, for the people that are on Facebook asking me who Derrick Rose is, he's a professional basketball player for the Chicago Bulls. He was the Came out of college. He missed a free throw to blow the championship
as a freshman.
Then came out as a pro. Was the number 1 pick in the draft. Chicago picked him. He took them to the playoffs, and I really thought, had they given him a little rest, that they could have beaten the Heat. Like, what was it, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, whenever it was?
Yeah, something like that.
I thought, he tired out, and they ended up losing to the Heat in 6, right? Mm-hmm. And then the last 2 years, he has torn up one knee and then another knee, so he hasn't really played, and everybody's kind of forgotten about him. So he's coming back. He played on the U.S. national team over the summer, like for the World.
Right, the World Basketball Championships.
Which is I never got to the AAU, did I?
No.
It's another show. Okay. Anyway, so now he's playing, and he basically kind of asked him about it the other day. Explanation is like, look, I'm trying to
What is he? Ball.
He's 20 court basketball till I was get down from the rim. Really bad. Right. My ankles are terrible. He's got a Chicago public high school education and 1 year of college, and I don't know how many classes he actually had to go to. I mean, I think they give you a pass and say you need extra gym class or something. I don't know what they do. I know what it was when I was at DePaul. This North Carolina thing where, there's...
Yeah, sure.
Let me tell you,
it's probably
ask me
true.
sometime how things went at DePaul when we were number 1 in the country, what those guys did. Mark Aguirre and Terry Cummings and Tyrone Corbin and Clyde Bradshaw, all those guys. Ask me sometime. I'm not going to go public with it.
Right.
Because I am an alumni. But I also was an English tutor.
Okay.
What do you mean you're not writing that paper for me? They gave him another tutor.
Really?
Yeah. You got to be kidding me, man. I mean, I'll run up and down the court with you.
I'm just not writing the paper for you.
You got to be kidding me. So anyway, all right. Are we up for a break?
Yeah, pretty
Because we have to get to some
we
real
thought
stuff.
you wanted to finish your thought.
Okay. Well, the Derrick Rose thing was he's basically saying, I'm not going to really play, when I don't feel like it because I'm worried about my long-term health and all this stuff. And I'm like, man, if he was my teammate, I would just want to string him up.
Sure.
I would just be like,
got
you
Paul
gotta
Gasol,
be
who's
kidding me.
37 years old out there busting his butt up and down the court.
Well,
and he's had injuries the last few years, and he's going to look at him and go, you're 25, dude.
Everybody, there's a difference between playing hurt and playing injured, right? I mean, that's the cliche that everybody knows. It's like if you're hurting, you play. If you're injured, you're out. Right? Everybody plays with aches and pains.
Sure.
Nobody's 100% after
the
first week of a season. Right.
Right.
So, I mean, if this guy, but again, our coach tends to burn people out anyway. So it's going to be an interesting thing to follow. I just as a teammate, we're talking about, it's hard to mix and match if you're the calm type and you got an emotional type. I don't know what kind of teammate I would want with this. The Dart equivalent of this guy is somebody who's always late to the board. In the middle of the leg will be like, I gotta go to the bar.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
He's so self-centered, and he has no concept of team. I don't know how you win with a guy like that, even if he's good.
Right.
If I have to go to the hotel room and pull you out of bed to play doubles, I'm not thinking you're a good teammate, no matter what you hit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Even if you could do it and play well.
I'd rather lose with a good teammate than win with something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's just sort of like,
it's going to take, stuff like that's going to take you out of your game, too. If you all of a sudden you're warming up and you got to sit there and worry about going all the way up to the hotel room to get your partner, it's going to, now all of a sudden you're emotionally wrecked.
Well, I mean, let's not get overwrought, but it's a distraction. It's a total pain.
Yeah, mentally, all of a sudden, it's going to eat on you as opposed to what you were doing warming up and getting ready to concentrate on your match. Now you're worried about something else.
It's so funny. I hear all these complaints about, people get called, and the minute they go to the board, then they have to go to the bathroom, and then they have to do this, and they have to do that. And it's like, just be ready to play. Apparently, that doesn't happen in Myrtle Beach. Apparently, in Myrtle Beach, things run well. Syracuse, too. I hear Syracuse is it was the year I went. It was a fantastically well-run tournament, but there's also somebody up there saying, get to the board. Let's go. It's that East Coast thing. Now sit down and shut up. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back for the second half. You're listening to Dart Talk with Mystery Mark, Steve Panunziamo. We'll be right back.
its prisoners in their war against Dart Talk agrees to adhere to the Geneva Convention in treating fairly its prisoners in their war against lackluster darting administration and behaviour.
Okay, back for the second half of Dart Talk, brought to you by the Dart Zone.
Stay in the zone.
TheDartZone.com is an official Cosmo distributor also. Many thanks, Windy City Fabricators and Redwood Darts. I was looking in the chat room. How are the Knicks doing these days? They doing well?
No. Not
Phil
that I know
Jackson
of.
hasn't
No.
saved them yet? Oh, well, he will.
As far as I know,
it
they
may
stink.
take him, a couple of first-round draft picks. So we have results. Let's get to the results. We have results from the Virginia Bullshooter and from Ghost on the Coast, which was that a couple of weekends ago when everybody was playing everywhere. 400 people in a blind draw is just fantastic.
Which one do you want to do first? You want to do the Bullshooter?
It's up to you. Whatever you want to do.
Right.
That's fine.
Well, let's do the Bullshooter first because it's more difficult to read.
Okay, so this was in Virginia?
Yeah, Virginia
Okay.
Bullshooter Regional. Women's doubles, top four, Paula Bushy and
Paula! All right.
Gwendy Fuentes. Is that right? Mary Hall and Lisa Dubbs. Second place goes to Linda Lewandowski and Lavon Beamish. Robin Utley and Ronnie Tact.
Okay, just like old times. Huh?
TKACH. TKACH.
To catch? Catch?
I don't know.
I don't know.
All right, men's doubles, top four, Clarence Mosley and Jeff Farthing. Mark Punt and Archie Bushy. Second place goes to Chris Capello and Neil Adams with Douglas DeReamer and Michael Sarandos. Winning that. Pro men's doubles, Robert Huguenot Jr. and William Cross Jr. with Alan DeRogie and Shannon Fry for top four, Stowe Bunce and James Fairley. Second place, Richard Seacrest and Brock Lawrence. Pro men's doubles.
Okay.
Winners. Mixed triples, though. This will be fun. Nora Hansen, Carl West, Luane Lotchke for fourth, Cynthia Cosford, Barton Consford, and Chris Pace also for fourth. James Fairley.
Well, that'd be third.
That would be third.
Yeah.
James Fairley, Stowe Bunce, and Beth Adams for second, and Michael Sarandos, Douglas DeReamer, and Iris Kabadit.
Okay, congrats to them. That was the mixed trips.
That was mixed triples. They got men's cricket doubles. Jeff Schlick and Kevin Stever and Chris Pace with Bart Consford for top four. Dan Carey and Dylan Franklin second place with Michael Sarandos. Apparently there's a trend here. And Douglas DeReamer for first place in the men's cricket doubles.
Right. They play double elimination, so actually it's fourth, third, second, and first.
Oh, it is. So there's
Yeah.
no top four.
Yeah, there's no top four.
Okay. Well, thanks for the info.
I'm here to help.
Pro-Am Cricket, fourth place, Alan DeRogie and Jeff Rue. Stowe Bunce and James Fairley for third. Richard Seacrest, Brock Lawrence second, and Shannon Fry and Bill Cross Jr. first place Pro-Am Cricket.
Nice.
Women's singles combo, Lisa Delp fourth, Gwendy Fuentes third, Ronnie Tact second, and Nicole Smith first place.
Is it Gwendy or Gwen?
It says Gwendy.
Okay.
And if it's a typo,
It's a new one. That's a new one on me. At
it's
least
a
you're doing it the
repeated
same
typo.
way. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
so,
fine.
I don't know. But
That's,
this
never heard of
Ronnie
Gwendy
Tact,
before.
she needs a vowel. That's all.
Okay, so maybe she's related to Boris.
Women's doubles combo, Megan Dively.
Really? Now there's a good name for a dart player. Diddley?
Dively.
Oh,
Or
Divley.
it could be Dively.
Oh, okay. That's different then.
Yeah. Chelsea Slowick for fourth. Angela Malloyd and Carla Sheig for third place. Robin Utley, Ronnie Tech. I need a vowel. And Gwendy Fuentes and Paula Bushy
Okay,
for
Paula.
first place.
We've had Paul on the show. She runs the Virginia Beach tournament.
And so you got your men's singles cricket. Derek Seals 4th, Michael Sarados 3rd, James Fairley 2nd, and Douglas DeReamer 1st place. Pro cricket singles, Jason Smith 4th, Stowe Bunce 3rd, Dennis Caldwell Jr. 2nd, and Robert Tenriska Jr. 1st place, pro cricket singles.
Nice.
And your last event would be the mixed cricket doubles. You have Nicole Smith and Archie Bushy 4th, Chris Pace and Cynthia Consford 3rd, Michael Hardy and Gwendy Fuentes 2nd.
Shaggy.
Who?
Michael Hardy. His
Shaggy?
nickname is Shaggy.
Shaggy,
Yeah.
okay. Derek Seals and Lori Henney, your mixed cricket doubles.
Okay, and that was for the Virginia Bullshooter.
Correct.
No, I assume it was somewhere around like Norfolk or something, or Newport
I don't
News
think it's
or
that.
something.
Maybe it does say. I don't know. Do you want me to find out?
Well, it's always helpful to have place.
Yep, I don't know.
Okay. All right, so let's do Ghost on the Coast.
Ghost on the Coast, which was Friday, October 31st, was the blind draw.
Yeah, it's nice. They decorate the stage with like a little, it was kind of funny. They've got like little Halloween decorations, like little ghosts and stuff all around and then below the board. But in order to walk back from the finals board, you have to walk straight back because they've got decorations on the side.
Oh, really?
At least that's the way they did it last time. It was kind of funny.
This is the blind draw that had 402 shooters, 201 teams.
Yeah, you're just going to have to, like, top 4 and up, I guess.
Yeah. Top 4 is Rick Madden, Brian Blake, Kelly Mears, and Wayne Budgeon. Derek Bishop, Brian Bemis, 2nd place with Mark Fair and Chris Bowling winning that.
Mark Fair in the house. All right.
Yeah. Apparently he did well this weekend. So then Saturday, you got a bunch of events. You got mixed doubles cricket, top 4, Wes Lippert and Aaron Jennings, Doreen Sweeney and Michael Lagana. Brian Blake and Sandy Hudson 2nd place with Mark Fair and Melissa Pryor 1st.
Melissa Pryor. Oh, I haven't heard that name in a while. Congrats to them.
Men's doubles cricket, Brian Stamey and Bruce Davey, Mike Lagana and Scott Sampson, top 4. Wayne Budgeon and Kevin Sisbo.
Well, now that's a good team. Now, I like those guys. Those are New Yorkers. And Mark Fair and Brian Blake beat them in the final.
Yes, correct.
Wayne listens to the show. Kevin's got his daughter did some like darts movie for film class that was up on Facebook and stuff. It was really cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Ladies singles cricket. Top 4, Wanda Pepper and Sandy Hudson with Melissa Pryor 2nd and Tyler Mears winning that.
We haven't seen...
we haven't seen her in a while.
Well, it's good that she's still playing.
Yeah.
That's nice. She was our newcomer of the year, 2 years ago?
2 years ago, I think, yeah. What was she, 18?
I think she was even younger. We put her picture on the cover of the show, and it was like the highest rated show ever.
Men's singles cricket, Bruce Davey and David Lorena.
Yes.
Top 4 with Wes Lippert 2nd and Chris Linkos.
One of the gentlemen, Chris Linkus, one of the gentlemen in darts. Always good to see his name there.
Ladies doubles cricket, top 4, Diana Jane and Julie Munford, Jen Griner, and Melissa Pryor, top 4.
I think.
Grenier.
Yeah.
Candy Ellis and Debbie Birch, 2nd place, with Kendra Archbold and Sandy Hudson, 1st place.
Okay, congrats to all them.
Mixed triple 701. Apparently your last event on Saturday was Tyler Mears and Jobin Weiss and John Q. Kat Brune, Doug Snyder, and Mako Hayden.
Macio
Hayden. Top 4. PJ Long, Arlen Kelly, and Pete Riley for 2nd place. Sandy Hudson, Brian Blake, and Mark Fair.
Ooh, tough team. Congrats to all them.
So that takes care of Saturday.
Well, yeah, and that was the only thing I didn't like about the Myrtle Beach tournament was we all had like Halloween costumes for the mixed, but it wasn't like everybody had costumes, and I was like, well, you should at least lose the diddle automatically if you don't have a costume. You should get something. You know what I mean? The more people in an event, the less I think we should take it seriously.
Okay, so then on Sunday you got your mixed doubles 501, top 4, Tara Peck, Dale Loudon, Glenda Dodson and Paul Wilson, Charlie Daniel and Sheldon Lionel for 2nd place, Melissa Pryor and Mark Fair, first place.
Nice, okay.
Ladies doubles 501. Laura Jossie, Amy Gartrell, Candy Ellis and Debbie Birch for top 4. Brenda Whitley and Charlie Daniel, second place. Kay Hoover and Sandy Haas are your winners.
Okay, interesting team there.
Men's singles 501, Chad Massengill and Sean Patrick, top 4. Mark Mears and for second place, and Mark Fair, first place.
Okay.
Mark Fair's having a good
Starting
turn.
to be like the usual suspects.
And Melissa Pryor also have. Men's doubles 501, top 4 goes to Jerry Hilborn and Pat Hewitt with Dean.
I was
even get his picture.
White there.
This guy?
Yeah. I was putting a link up to the show. Like New England has way more players than anybody else, but I'll tell you, the mid is somewhere in Pennsylvania. But all those guys are great shots and great guys. Real gentlemen. Maybe it's in the South people are more polite. I don't know.
Right,
maybe.
maybe.
Do you find that true?
I think so. Yeah.
I know the women are more polite than northern women. It's my experience, but I don't know.
Must be the weather.
You think? Mark sleeping on Salmon, and we will be.
You are now and forevermore warned that you consume this show at your own risk, and that Dart Talk cannot be brought to justice in any court or by any government, including and not restricted to the grand spaghetti monster of the Triple 20.
Hey, back for the fourth quarter of Dart Talk, brought to you by the Dart Zone.
Stay in the zone.
TheDartZone.com. The DartZone.com is okay. So we're breaking
news.
Breaking.
I need to know this because I don't know anything about this breaking news thing. So.
Well, basically, Dart Talk is going to make an appearance. Okay, that's not good. I think we might be burping our connection here.
Oh.
I am going to make an appearance at a soft tip event in
this weekend.
Yeah.
Oh.
Red Eye Rhino. I don't know anything about the company, but they've been putting on these. I don't know what to call them. See, here's my problem. I have a philosophical problem with blind draws, right? So they've been staging these events, and I don't know if it's to showcase the company, the machines, or whatever, but it's all just blind draws.
All night?
The entire weekend. You have to be willing to take and enjoy the event with whoever you get.
At least if it's all weekend, nothing but blind draws, you could just be in that
or something like that. So, I mean, it's steel tip blind draw. I mean, it's like, I think you're in big trouble.
Oh, I would agree with that.
Sure. I mean, you're going to get frustrated. This guy's late to the board. He missed this. He's not prepared. How come I got this guy and not that guy? Look, we're going up against two pros that got paired together. Whatever. I mean, there's a lot of potential. Like, I hate this kind of things that go on in a blind draw. But if you go into a blind draw with the right attitude, which is like, I'm going to enjoy this event. I'm going to do the best I can. And, if my partner needs help, I'll help him as best I can, and I'll take what comes. You can really enjoy blind draws. You get to meet new people like this blind draw, and maybe I'll play. I don't know. I'll bring my
good
dogs.
as reason as any.
I'll help them out. It's weird. I mean, I helped them out at this one thing in Louisville, and it was like I was so individualistic with their equipment. It was actually, I got a kick out of it. Like Cosmo makes these really cool flights. They're like cool designs. They're called, like, there's jugglers and these other ones, and they cut stones in them and stuff. And I'm like, well, yeah. Okay. I mean, it's kind of cool. And if you play soft tip, I would imagine you don't tear up your flights like you do playing steel, right?
I would imagine, yeah.
I mean, I would be more worried about shafts breaking than I would be, like, flights ripping, because there's no metal that
exactly.
That's our breaking. Am I such a? and like get a hotel you'd be interested in?
Illinois.
Well, I've pretty sure I know I've gone like on the way to Starved Rock. You go by 39,
I guess
so it's kind of around there.
It depends on your mindset. Are you just going to do it and have fun and just accept the cost, and that's why you're doing it? Or like you said, are you going to go there and you're trying to make money at the tournament? Well, if you're going to try and go to, that's not the tournament to go to make money.
Well, it could be.
Well, it could be, but what I'm saying is you're not relying on you and only you or you and your partner that you know of that you go to tournaments all the time with. You're
played soft tip blind draws. I don't think you can phenomenal, right? I don't think you can do that in soft tip. I think in soft tip you have to have a player of at least X ability to give yourself a chance of winning. That's why I say if you're going to go to an event like this, you have to go into the event more not really so much to win, but to enjoy it.
Sure.
To enjoy the games and take
you're going there for the enjoyment.
Playing Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Right? Well, and then Sunday, there might be pro football, not in Chicago, but there will be, somewhere.
On TV somewhere.
That team is just, you got to be kidding me with these guys. You just have to be kidding me.
Oh, we had a baseball season that was over by the second month. Now we got a football season that's over by half. No, isn't that awful?
It's just the absurdity level has risen to the point where I don't know what to say anymore.
Because if they would have scored 28, they still would have lost by 22 points.
Not a tackle, town. Even the guys on offense, because apparently, the interceptions are dropping frames now. So I don't know what the problem our award out will do. There's this commercial I never watched with Ray Carver with a tape. Next week I'll do the thing where remember we got 100 people doing that. We don't
do that anymore, right?
We replaced them with the disclaimers.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to remind me to set that up for you next week.
Okay,
that's not that hard.
Hold on.
Thanks for listening to the show.
New listener, which I'm sure was. We could just be like, hey, to end the show, double bull.
That's what I'm saying. We're going to talk also next week. We're going to talk some PDC because the Grand Slam was interesting over the weekend. It's a little bit kind of silly season to me, but the Grand Slam behind. We'll cover that next week. Stuff next week.
Sounds good.
But anyway,